Hey, what's up guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a scrap deck profile. Now this deck is really fun to play with because it has a lot of resource management, and you get to play one of the most iconic synchro monsters in the entire game, which is Scrap Dragon. And I actually picked up an ultimate rare one just for this deck profile because I thought it was really pretty in ulti. So let's get into this, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell to the next time a part of the notification squad. And I just really quickly want to say, guys, thank you for 5,000 subscribers. I really appreciate that, guys. I really am glad that we got to 5,000. That was actually one of my New Year's resolutions for my YouTube channel and for myself as a person was to get my YouTube channel to 5,000 subscribers and 1 million views, and we knocked it out of the park. I'm really glad that we did. I cannot express my happiness enough to you guys, and I'm so glad that every one of you have been on this journey with me, and I look forward to 5,000 more and 1 million more views. So let's get straight on to this, guys, and I'll show you how I'm playing this. And I'll tell you a really quick backstory about this deck. I was actually working on Savannah's car, and I fell in love with like auto mechanics and working on cars, because like in my family there's like probably like 4 generations of machinists behind me, and I saw scraps while I was sitting out in the car trying to figure out what I needed to do to it, and with my dad, and I was like, I'm gonna build scraps because this car I'm ripping parts out of right now, I'm gonna build scraps, and that's how I found inspiration to build this deck. So let's get into this, guys, and I'll show you how I'm playing it. So cool story behind this deck. So first off, you're gonna play 3 copies of Scrap Golem. This card is one of the best cards in the deck. Once per turn, you can select a level 4 or lower scrap monster in your grave and special summon it to either player's side of the field. Keyword, either player's side of the field. That is very important. I play 1 copy of Scrap Shark. This is kind of our starter of the deck. When a monster effect is activated or a spell or trap effect is activated, destroy this card and on the field. And if this card is destroyed by a card effect of a scrap monster and sent to the grave, you can send a scrap monster from your deck to the grave. So it's kind of like Foolish Burial and get you plays off right off the bat. Then we're going to play the most expensive card in the deck, and that is 3 copies of Scrap Orthos. Scrap Orthos is one of the more interesting cards of the deck. It cannot be normal summoned or set. It can only be special summoned by its own effect and you controlling a scrap monster. And then you special summon this card from your hand, select a scrap monster on your field, destroy it, and then if it's destroyed by card effect and sent to the grave, you can select a scrap monster in your grave and add it to your hand. A lot of your scrap monsters have the effect that if it's destroyed, you can add a scrap to your hand. Then we play 3 copies of Scrap Chimera, which I think is arguably really one of the best card in the deck. This card cannot be used as synchro material except for the synchro summon of a scrap monster, and all other synchro materials must be scrap monsters. And when this card is normal or special summon, or normal summon, you can select a scrap tuner monster in your grave and special summon it. So it's like an instant, like one of synchro monster. Like that's really good to have on your field. So really important to have that. Then we play 3 copies of our Scrap Beast. With the Scrap Beast, you can, if this card is in defense position, is selected for an attack target, you get to destroy it. And at the end of the battle phase, if this card is destroyed by a card effect of a scrap monster and sent to the grave, you can select a scrap monster in your graveyard, except another copy of itself, and add it to your hand. That's the big thing about scraps, is they just keep destroying themselves and renewing their abilities to get themselves out on the field. Like, it's just basically a tuner monster on the field, but the thing is they were made before Lynx, and so that's like the big thing about them. Then we play 2 copies of Scrap Golem, which is another tuner that we have in the deck. Scrap Golem is basically here because you can link with him, and he's a level 3 tuner monster. But other than that, that's about it. Then we play 1 copy of Scrap Searcher. Scrap Searcher is really interesting. There's a combo with Scrap Searcher that if you have Scrap Golem on your side of the field, you can actually take Scrap Searcher and summon it to your opponent's side of the field and blow up your opponent's entire board, which is very cool, because all you have to do is have Golem on field, and then it lets you special summon a scrap monster to either player's side of the field, and you do so by summoning this to your opponent's side of the field. So that's the big thing that we do with Scrap Searcher. The next and final monster we play in the deck is Scrap Mind Reader. Scrap Mind Reader is basically, once per turn when this card is in the graveyard during your main phase, you can select a scrap monster you control, destroy that monster, and then special summon Scrap Mind Reader from your deck, or from your graveyard, and if you do, remove this card from play when it's sent to the grave. So So that's basically it for the scrap monsters. Let's get into the spells now, guys. So for the spells, we are going to play some really interesting ones. So we're going to first off play one copy of Monster Reborn because we need to reborn stuff. Dark Hole because our scraps regenerate themselves so easily, so we're playing one Dark Hole. 2 copies of Terraforming because we need to get to our field spell, which is really like Chimera and Golem and the field spell are the best cards in the deck, seriously. 2 copies of Scapegoat so we can get into our Link monsters pretty quick. 2 Scrapyards. This card's basically Rhoda for tuner scrap monsters. So you can search a lot of different scrap monsters in your deck, but like you can't search Chimera and stuff like that. So it's good, but it's not great. Then we play 3 copies of our Scrap Storm. You get to select a scrap monster you control and then send a scrap monster from your deck to the grave, and then you get to draw a card. But it destroys the selected monster after you draw the card, which is kind of interesting because there's some really wicked combos in this deck that you can do with that ability of just keeping the scrap monster on your field for that little or more amount of time. It allows you to do different combos, which is pretty cool. So after that, we're going to play the field spell, which the field spell is called Scrap Factory. And that card is really, really, really busted. You can activate this card. When this card is activated, all scrap monsters you control gain 200 attack, and that's a residual effect, so they basically stay like that. And then face up scrap monsters on the field that are destroyed by battle or by card effect, and destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard. Except during the damage step, you can special summon 1 scrap monster from your deck. So it like replaces them instantly. Like let's say one of your scrap monsters destroys itself by its own card effect, and it sends itself to the grave. You can special summon a scrap golem from your deck, and then golem's effect will let you special summon the scrap monster that just got destroyed back from the grave. So you essentially get a +1 off of just activating Scrap Factory. So then we play 3 copies of Supply Squad, which is the last spell that we play in the deck. Supply Squad is really good in the deck because every time one of your scrap cards destroys itself, you get to draw a card, and this stacks. So it's the draw power of the deck, really. This card in this deck and Fire Kings is nuts, so we need to play it at 3. But that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So we only play 6 traps in the deck, and that is 3 copies of Torrential Tribute because I just want to surprise my opponent with it, and 3 copies of Call of the Haunted. Torrential Tribute, when a monster is summoned, destroy all monsters on the field. So basically you can destroy your own scraps, and then Supply Squad will trigger and your field spell will trigger. And then Call of the Haunted will let you like special summon scraps from the grave. And plus, if it's left on the field, you can use Scrap Dragon to pop your Call of the Haunted and opponent's monster. So that's really cool too. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. Really interesting main deck. I really love this deck. It's a lot of fun. It plays a heck of a lot of tuners. Like, it plays, like, seriously, like 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 tuners. So, like, you play a lot of tuners, but the main thing that you're going to be summoning off is your golem off of your, the Scrap Factory, so you can revive stuff. So, for the extra deck, we're going to play 3 copies of our Scrap Dragon. I have it in every single edition, which is Super, Ultra, and an Ulti, because I just really wanted that for this deck, and I really think you guys deserve that. So once per turn, you can select a monster you control, and 1 card your opponent controls, destroy them. Then, the other effect that everybody forgets about this card, because like nobody played it in scraps, is when this card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, either by battle or by card effect, and sent to the grave, you can select 1 non-tuner scrap monster in your grave and special summon it. So it's usually going to be Golem. Then I'm playing 2 copies of Twin Scrap Dragon. This card is probably the better of the 2. And then once per turn, you can select 1 card your opponent controls, or 1 card you control, and 2 cards your opponent controls. Destroy the 1 that you control, and return the 2 your opponent controls to the hand. When this card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect instead of the grave, you can select 1 non-synchro scrap monster in your graveyard and special summon it. For the final one that we play is 1 copy of Atomic Scrap Dragon. This card is kind of difficult to go into, so you mainly go up into your Twin. You don't usually go up into Atomic, but you can. The option's there, and I had all 3 in Ulti, so I was like, why not? So once per turn, you can select 1 card your opponent control, or 1 card you control, and 3 cards your opponent controls. And in your opponent's graveyard, destroy your select card and return your opponent's cards to the deck. When this card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the grave, you can select one non-synchro scrap monster in your grave and special summon it. So that's pretty much it for the scrap dragons. So you have scrap dragon, scrap twin, and scrap atomic. Then we play a Borreload because it's a really big boss monster. Same thing for Boral Sword, it helps us with OTKs. Summon Sorceress because it helps us get the exact particular scrap we need, like Golem out on the field. Because you can, if you summon Sorceress off of Scapegoats, you can like get a really easy Twin Dragon on field and get an OTK really fast. Decode Talker because it's Decode Talker, why not? Nightmare Unicorn because you can like bounce stuff. Cerberus because it pops monsters, Phoenix because it pops spells and traps, and 2 Mrs. Radiant because the entire deck is Earth and Scapegoats. So that's it, guys, for the deck profile. I really hope you enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed taking this one. One of my shorter deck profiles, but really a lot of the cards like are just tuner monsters and they just replace themselves, so it's not too much to explain with this deck. Like, the main cards that you have to keep in mind when you're playing this deck, like the real MVPs that make this deck go round, is the field spell. If you did not have the field spell, this deck would be total garbage. It would be scrap. Like, you'd have to scrap the whole deck. Haha. But, like, other than that, the deck is really, really solid. I really like the combo with Scrap Searcher that you can special summon it to your opponent's side of the field if it's in your grave, and you can Foolish Burial it with Shark. Like, that's my big one first turn play, is you send... you summon Shark, send Searcher to grave, summon off the field spell Golem, revive the Searcher off of Golem to your opponent's side of the field, and then you win games. So that's it, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this deck profile. I really enjoyed taking it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell down there so you can become a part of the notification squad, and I will say it again until I'm blue in the face. Thank you so much for 5,000 subscribers, guys. I cannot tell you how much that means to me. Getting to that mark is just a total landmark for my life and benchmark for my life and for my YouTube channel. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you around, guys.